Welcome to Ink It Up with Jessica TV. I'm Jessica Taylor, and in this episode, I'm going to show you how to do this cool gradient technique with your stamps and ink pads so that you can go from a light color all the way to a dark color. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pick your stamp set. I recommend that you use a bold stamp as it really makes the colors stand out more. I chose to use a Celebrate stamp, and this is actually from the February 2018 Paper Pumpkin Kit. As soon as I saw this stamp, I'm not sure if you can see the stamp set very well, as soon as I saw this and saw the bold images here, thank you friend, and then the Celebrate, I knew it was going to be perfect for this technique. So the first thing you're going to do is pick your stamp. Then you are going to pick your colors. So I really want to encourage you to play around with this. There is no right or wrong color combo, and sometimes you have to figure out what doesn't work before you can figure out what does work. So this does happen to be the first color combo that I tried, but I just literally was grabbing blues off of my stamp pad shelf because blue is my favorite color. So I started down in this corner with Tempting Turquoise. Then I added some Bermuda Bay. Then I went to Pacific Point, then Dapper Denim, and then finally when we get to the top here, I used Night of Navy. So let me go ahead and show you how to use your stamps and ink to make this cool gradient stamping technique. I'm going to start with a piece of 3.5 inch by 5 inch Whisper White cardstock, and to get this on a line like this, I actually didn't use any special tools, Stamp-A-Majigs or Stamparatuses or any kind of stamp positioning tool. I just eyeballed it, but I started by making a template out of just computer paper, and it's not fancy at all. I literally just kind of folded computer paper along my white cardstock and kind of decided where I wanted my line to be. So that's all I did is I folded a piece of computer paper that I can slide my card into, and this is just going to give me a line that I can follow with my stamp. Super easy. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is Tempting Turquoise. And to start with, to get the lightest color, I'm actually going to ink up my stamp and I'm going to stamp it off on scratch paper. And that wasn't very good. Let me try that again. I'm going to stamp it off on scratch paper once, and then I'm going to stamp it onto my paper. So that's going to give me a lighter color. So if you only have a few colors of ink, the way that you can get more ink colors out of them is to stamp them off. So to get the next image, I'm going to ink it up, I'm going to stamp it off again, and then I'm going to ink up just the top half of my stamp to give the top half a little bit darker color. And then I'll just stamp that right above my first image. So you can see it's just starting to get a little bit darker. So now I'm going to fully ink this up again with my Tempting Turquoise, and I'm going to stamp it again. Next, I'm going to go to my darker color, so I'm going to ink this up with Tempting Turquoise, and then I'm going to move on to Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to take this and ink up just the half. So it's already Tempting Turquoise. I'm going to ink up half of it Bermuda Bay and then stamp that again. The next thing I'm going to do, and you can clean your stamp in between, because I'm using the same color, I don't feel that I really need to. I'm going to ink it up full strength Bermuda Bay and stamp it again. And then I'm going to ink it up full strength Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to move on to my next color. And then I'm just going to ink up just the top part with Pacific Point. Stamp it again. And then I'm going to ink up full strength with Pacific Point. Stamp it again. Ink it up with Pacific Point. And then do just the top in Dapper Denim. So it's giving me a two-tone look. Then we'll go full strength Dapper Denim. And that wasn't the best stamp. I could probably fix that if I really wanted to. And I'm going to ink it full strength Dapper Denim, and then finally just the top half with Night of Navy. And that's how you do gradient stamping. So I want to show you just the little bit of difference between the two that I made. And that is on this one, I went all the way up to Night of Navy. I didn't do the extra lighter. I didn't do this with Tempting Turquoise. That's stamped off ones and then full strength. So you can see how it's just a little bit different. But I really hope that you will give this gradient stamping technique a try. So just a quick recap. You're going to want to use a bold stamp. That's going to give you the best look for gradient stamping. You want to pick your colors and really play around with them. Don't be afraid to get creative. If you want them on an angle like this, just create a simple template with your computer paper. Always start with the lightest color and then move to the darkest color. And finally, if you'd like to get surprise stamp sets like this in paper pumpkin kits, you can find more information about that on my website at inkitupwithjessica.com/paper-pumpkin. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.